Okay, so welcome. Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow coming to you live from the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, California, a place where we welcome all who practice their beliefs and faith and love. And it's a nice, cool 75 degrees in the sanctuary, so if you are home sweating it, you should be here meditating with us. So, but you can have an opportunity to cool off on Sunday morning at 9 and 10:30 as well. So we welcome you here in the sanctuary, those of you joining us online. Our presider this evening is Rosalie Bate, one of several practitioners we have here at our center. If you need prayer support of any kind, just go on our website, CSLGH.org. You'll see about us, scroll down to practitioners, and you'll see about 15 beautiful souls there ready to help you out. All right, so let's get underway for tonight by just taking a deep conscious breath together and release. And just allowing that release, just to allow ourselves to surrender and anchor ourselves into this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So as Rosalie lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and of course within our own hearts. And finally, as Rosalie lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender surrender. I trust in God.
Yes, I surrender to the truth that is the everlasting, ever living, ever becoming truth that is in my heart and mind, and it is in God's heart and mind because we share the oneness. And as this moment, the oneness is right here in this room. We are experiencing the truth. The oneness is absolutely where everyone is, even online. We know that this truth is God in you. It is love in you. It is truth in you. It is the all-knowing essence that is becoming evermore who you are and who I am. And I say yes to this truth so deeply and completely that I know that everything, every situation, every circumstance, every issue is in God's hands. It is in the life, in the love, and the truth that is manifesting in every level. And I know that is true right now. And so we can surrender to this truth and allow it to be. And together we can simply say, and so it is. Well, summer's the time for fun. Here we have our hot weather finally got here. And it's wonderful to look out in my garden and the plants all around and see how they actually even thrive in the heat, and how wonderful. You know, I have a pumpkin plant in my yard, and it's going to grow some pumpkins for us. And so, you know, this plant, I have tomato plants too, and it's growing and becoming just like we all are in this wonderful way of becoming, as the truth of God lives in us, as the truth of God lives in every plant, every stone, every animal, because we are all part of the same creation. And so this creation is absolutely manifesting as a pleasure of wonder and excitement here in the Center for Spiritual Living. And today, as very often on Wednesday, we had a wonderful group that meets together called Sangha, and we did creative writing, and it was the most fun experience I've had for a long time, just focusing on creative writing, and it was with a group of people all doing it together. And so I just say yes to the truth, and yes to the fun, yes to the all-knowing wisdom, and now to be here in this meditation and tune in and touch in our hearts together. I'm so grateful to be here. And thank you for letting me share.
Are there announcements up there?
Yes, we have practitioners are available today in the treatment room. No, not in the treatment room. Like any online, you can find a practitioner, or you can be in this room. There's at least two of us for a 2-minute tune-up. So know that this is available at CSLGH.org. We have Animal Kinship happening on July 16th at 1 p.m. on Zoom with Reverend Kathy. And we do have our regular Sangha workshops happening every Wednesday, and new people are invited to come anytime you'd like. And we, let's see, we have several other things happening, like a festival planning committee. We just had a wonderful potluck lunch last Sunday. It was really a wonderful experience for us all. So come and join the festival.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't use our brand new handrail. You missed it. Oh, you can go up that way, you can go down that way. How about that? Yeah, well, I was getting a little nervous watching folks try to navigate up there, and I was waiting for the day when the lectern and everything would come down. So anyway, that's McKinney Welding right here in Granada Hills. So, so thank you, Rosalie, for stepping up, and we're just going to know for Beverly, she was feeling a little under the weather today. We're just going to know that she's experiencing a speedy recovery. And so we can know that for her as we do our meditation tonight. So I'm continuing to work from the Love Poems from God, which Reverend Jessica knows about this book, Mike, because she gave it to us. And I'm really enjoying it. It's 12 different authors. And I was encouraged to not be timid about the female writers, so I'm not going to be. Teresa of Avila, so they have a little blurb on each writer. So just some facts about Teresa of Avila. So she was actually not very well known until the 1960s, as it happened. So I thought she was like one of the 6 o'clock saints or something, but no. She was a foundress of the Carmelite order. She came online in Spain right around the time of the Inquisition to a wealthy family who lost it all in exploring the New World. An interesting fact is that it's believed that she took a lover at age 15, and her dad freaked out and put her in the convent. And it was here, and during the Inquisition, of course, that was a horrible time in Spain for Jews particularly, because of forced conversions. And the Inquisition, of course, was taking on not the church's proudest moment by any stretch. And women were not allowed to be educated. And yet she, in a clandestine way, was able to, she became not only literate, but is considered today to be one of the premier women mystics and poets of mystical poetry, some 500 letters. I think she wrote 6 or 7 books. And so just a wonderful influence. And she's known for having ecstatic visions and she speaks about God as He, because she understood it to be Jesus, the Son of God, and within that tradition. And so her poetry reflects that. But she's also known for having an ecstatic style and speaking in a very intimate way of, shall we say, wrestling with the Spirit. And I'll let you fill in. Hang whatever you like on that wrestling. So she writes this. So the thing that's kind of nice about this, particularly within religious science, where we are it can be a very head-centered enterprise, a head-centered spiritual practice in the way that you can approach Buddhism in kind of the same way, right? That, of course, the heart is always available, but it's easy to ignore that part. When you read Teresa, the heart, it's like the heart is there. And not only that, but the heart is part of that mystical experience. And so when we're in teachings like this, not that Holmes didn't write from, certainly the Voice Celestial is a very heart-centered epic poem that he wrote with his brother. But it's not, well, maybe it's just religion generally doesn't know what to do with the juicy bits of spiritual experience. Okay, so this poem is kind of from that perspective. Right, so it's intimate, right? An intimate knowing of spirit with you and with me. And it's entitled No, No, Dear, No. I thought of putting my hand where I could tell no one, on that part of my soul that is always warm. I knew a sacred liquid there could flow and give me peace. And my soul, I have come to see, is both spirit and flesh. The body is a nest I do not mourn when I fly, do you? Why should I not give to myself what a tender, skilled husband could and remain free of the external bindings of another? And God replied, to those who are married to me, I'll take care of things like that. But what if you get busy with your other wives and forget about my loneliness, she asked. And again he spoke, saying, I have not forgotten the thought of any creature that ever lived. If I do not take you in my arms as you might want, no, dear, no. It is for the upliftment of all. And if I do come to you in a dream and satisfy the most intimate of your physical desires, no, dear, no. It is for the upliftment of all. And that I am constantly drawing close. And if I do not take you into my arms as you might want, no, dear, no. It is for the upliftment of all. And if I do come to you in a dream and satisfy the most intimate of your physical desires, no, dear, no. It is for the upliftment of all. And all I am constantly drawing close. Pretty juicy, right? So there's a couple things in there for me, right? One of them is to not as much as a testimony of Teresa, but rather an encouragement from her to us to explore a more intimate relationship of how we know the divine to be. And where is it? Right in the soft places in our own soul. So maybe we can explore that tonight as we do our meditation. Let's see if we can go a little deeper. We have a little extra time tonight. So let's just take a deep conscious breath and release. And we'll bring the Om and Bros down just a wee bit. There we go. Thank you. And we just stay with the breath. And let's just begin by checking our posture, checking our seat. So however you are most comfortable here in the room or at home. So the idea is that we're sitting erect and relaxed. And bringing our attention to the breath. Focusing on the inhale to start. just as we hold our attention on the breath and then bring our attention to the bottom of our feet, to the top of the feet, attending to the lower leg, the front, the calf area. And if we find places of tension, we can just take a deep breath and exhale, and then just feel the release as we breathe into these places. Feel the release on the exhale. Moving into the knees, into the upper leg, into the sit bones, the sit bones square on the cushion or the seat, the spine erect yet free of tension, balanced on the sit bones, the head balanced on the spine, over the sit bone. And breathe. So from the sit bone, bring our attention to the tummy. Just let it rise and fall easily. Fully relaxed. To the small back, the lower back. And if you're feeling tension in your lower back, sometimes you can tuck your tailbone under a little bit and release that. Turning to the breath. To the shoulders, down into the arms, check the wrist, the forearms, so let's take a deep breath together, and on the exhale, allow the shoulders to drop. Okay, together. And release. Now we bring our attention to the movement of the breath on the exhale. Feel the face release. Focusing on the exhale, we bring our attention to the area above the eyebrows, the third eye area. And the crown of the head. Staying with the exhale. So taking a deep breath for our final release as we move into the silence now for about 20 minutes, taking a deep breath. Releasing, focusing on the exhale for about 20 minutes now. staying with the breath, staying with the exhale. So we imagine the flame of the divine in the heart center. Breathing into it now, fanning that flame. This flame now growing in brilliance and radiance. A ball of fire at the very heart center. Fire that illuminates rather than consumes, casting its light beyond. We feel its expansion with each in-breath. In the same way that inflating a balloon expands and contracts with the breath. Expanding now beyond the torso, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. Feeling an expansion in the chest as the heart opens with this light, extending now, commingling with our friends here in the sanctuary. Extending now, joining our brothers and sisters on this YouTube channel, either now or even in the future, for we understand that the Spirit is not bound by time nor space. So we just feel a sense of being immersed in, bathed in, a part of, expressing as this light and love of the Most High. That we are knowing that in this field of light and love, that at the smallest aspects of our expression in this physical world, that every atom, every molecule, every cell, every organ, every muscle, every bone, every sinew, all the various connections within the spine and the joints, all of it now is aligning with and expressing as a pattern of perfection, expressing as radiant good health, that we feel a sense of strength, of flexibility, resilience, of power. We take a deep breath and allow this, release this expression, opening our minds up now to a divine download, infusing, that we are now open and receptive to be infused with new and creative and dynamic ideas, captured now easily in the deepest levels of mind, to be recalled instantaneously or later through the dream state, that we know confidently, that we are confident and know that any seeming situation or challenge that may have presented itself today or through our work week, that there is a new spiritual prototype being implanted within us, that it is easily recognized and called forth. That we take a deep breath, Release. Anchoring that within now. That we know further for the heart that we have been cracked open, that the heart is open and receptive to love in all of its forms. We take our hand and place it on the soft place within the soul, that we know that it is flowing now with a sense of openness, of receptivity for friendship in all of its forms, that in this way our communications are open, are peaceful, harmonious, that they are intuitively find ways that seek to understand rather than to be understood, that there is a live and let live component to where we move easily and harmoniously with others for the free expression of life, of love, of creativity, of intelligence, of light, to allow itself to be freely known and fully realized. We take a deep breath. And so in this attuned state now, within the body, mind, and spirit, we're knowing for our friends. We bring our friends now into this vibration that we know for Beverly, for William, for Wendy, for Jeannie, that we know for our parents and students making tuition within the college experience, that the crooked ways are made straight, that we know for all that whether it's in the body, mind, or the spirit, that there is a free flow of healing happening even now, that any obstacles, known or unknown, standing in the way of this full and complete expression are released now as we know together that there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life of the divine expressing in, through, and as all. And so by means of this meditation tonight, we are attuned, we are expressing now fully as the creative impulse of life in ways, harmonious expressions of light and love that resonate and call forth the highest for ourselves and those around us. So we take one more deep breath and release. And in that release, we are just feeling a sense of gratitude and confidence as we release this word unto that aspect of the mind of the Most High that knows only to say yes as the law of its own being. Yes, my beloved, yes. In you, in your concerns for yourself and for others, I am well pleased. So we just release it, we let it go, allow it to be so. And then in this resonance, then we find ourselves as, for those of us here in the room, that we leave here this evening knowing that we have been shifted and lifted, that we arrive home safely and in good order, that as we make our way through the rest of this evening, arriving to our beds, drifting off to sleep easily and effortlessly, dreaming sweet dreams, that we awaken feeling fully rested, restored, revitalized, with a sense of vim and vigor and an excitement for the new day. So taking one more breath, just releasing all of it now, knowing it is done, knowing it is so. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is, amen. So we finished up a little early tonight. So isn't that nice? So thank you for joining us here in the room, online, as I said. So if it's your first time joining us, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and you'll get a heads up when we're on next, which will be, we live stream here on this YouTube channel or here in the house at 10:30 a.m. And if you like to get your praying done early, we start at 9 o'clock. Come on in and join us. Get prayed up and have the rest of your Sunday to yourself. Until then, know that you're loved. Peace and blessings, and I'll see you next time.